Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the most important topic in compiler design, bootstrapping and cross compiler. So before going into that topic, you need to know, so what is the role of compiler? So in previous videos and previous lectures I already discussed, the compiler will convert the pre-processed code into assembly language code. So this is the role of the compiler. So here, for every language, there is a compiler. Compiler will be implemented in some language. So for every language, we cannot write a compiler in that particular language. So here the concept came, bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is a process in which a simple language is used to translate more complicated program. That means if you want to compile one complicated language, need not to write in that language the compiler. It will, the simple language which is already existing simple compiler we can use to execute that complicated language. For your basic understanding, suppose a C compiler is existing already. Okay, so using that C compiler, we are executing the C programs. But if you want to execute a Java language, but it is very difficult to write a Java compiler, each and everything from scratch, it is a very difficult. So we can use that existing C language compiler to execute a Java program. So that is the concept of bootstrapping. So here you see bootstrapping is a process in which simple language is used to translate more complicated program. So this complicated program can further handle even more complicated program and so on. So this already compiler, that complicated compiler can handle even more complicated compiler also. That means bootstrapping means it can execute its own language using the existing language. Using the existing compiler, one language can execute its own language. That means if you want to use the existing simple language compiler, you can compile more complicated language. So that is the concept of bootstrapping. So here I already told writing a compiler for any high level language is a complicated process. Okay, so it takes a lot of time. So if you are developing a new language, if you want to develop a compiler also, it will take a lot of time. So it takes a lot of time to write a compiler from scratch. So hence already existing compiler will be used with some modification to execute that new language. This concept is called the bootstrapping. And bootstrapping compiler is used to compile the compiler. If you want to compile the compiler, and then you use this compiled compiler to compile everything else as well as future versions of itself. So the compiler will compile the new language compiler, and that new compiler can be used for the future versions, for executing the new languages, for future languages with a little bit of modifications. So this bootstrapping concept came here. So need not to write each and every step for the new language. With existing compiled language, we can use that existing compiler for executing the new language. So this concept is also called bootstrapping. Here we are talking about the two new languages. That means if existing compiler is in C, so we can execute the language in that C compiler will be used for the C++. But the bootstrapping concept is also used for the two different platforms also. That means if existing compiler is in Windows, so it is compatible with Windows, it can be executed in Android platform also. That is concept is different. That is called cross compiler. Later slides I will explain about it also. Now we are talking about the bootstrapping, which can be used that existing compiler for a new language. So how it will be implemented? Bootstrapping will be implemented using the three steps, three languages. One is the source language, target language, and implementation language. Here we are, this is the source language which we are going to convert, and here it is the implementation. This compiled, for compiling the source language, which language we implemented to for compile, and this is the target language. This is called the T diagram, and here from S to C compiled, and S is source and T is the target. Implementation used the implemented language. This is C for the compiled. So SIT compiler, this is called SIT compiler, source, target, and implementation language. Okay, so using this existing, how can we design the new compiler? So if you want to develop a new compiler for new language, okay, how it will be developed? See here the first step, here L represent the machine, represents the language, and M represents the target language for that machine, and also M represent the implementation language, okay, for that compiler. Here I am talking about the language, and this is also machine. So the particular compiler will execute this language and compatible for that machine only. Okay. So see here, this is the language, and we are getting the target code for compatible with that particular machine, and it is implemented in that machine language only. The compiler is implemented in that machine language only. Okay. So using this compiler, I want to use, suppose for C. So this is a language, suppose Fortran already developed. So now I want to develop for a C language, a compiler I want to develop. So C language, to develop a C language, it is a big language. We can't develop it. So here I'm taking for subset of C. That means some small language, small portion of C we are developing, that is called C1. C1 is a subset to C. Okay, it is a subset to C. So for C1 first we will develop. In the first step, what we will do, we will develop the compiler for the C1, not for the C. From C1 we will develop to C. So here how to develop a compiler for C1. So here what is the source language? Here it is the source language, and in this particular machine only it needs to execute using which language? Using the existing language L, because for C1 we don't have any compiler. Okay, using the existing language we are developing the compiler. Okay, so here I have represented here. So this is equal to C1 and target is equal to M, and using the existing language I have developed this. Okay, so this we need to compile. So you need to compile means already compiler is available at this stage. This is the compiler, our compiler. So using this compiler, okay, this is the source and this is the target, and using this compiler, that is equal to L M, that is the language, and that particular machine पे implement किया, and a particular machine it is compatible. So using this compiler we got the new target, that is for C1 using this M language and in this particular machine language, and we develop the target machine for the target language for the machine. Okay, so this is the C source which developed using existing language L. Okay, existing compiler we used, and we got the target language, that is the target compiler is for C1, which is compatible with this machine. Understand? So here the source language will be converted into target language, that is for executing for existing with that particular, compatible with that particular machine here. Okay, so here this is the source and this is the target and this is the compiler. Source means C1, it will be compatible with this machine using this existing language. The target is using this compatibility of this machine language only. So we are getting the providing the target language here using the existing language, here using the target, that is that particular compatible machine we developed. Here this is the first step. Okay, so in this first step we developed for the C1, it is a subset of C. For C1 we developed a compiler here. using this concept. Okay, so this is called cross compilation for languages. Okay, so later we will see the cross compilation for different platforms. So here from the C1, from the existing language and using this particular machine language, we developed a compiler. So now we will see. So this is the second step. We want to develop for the C language here. So we developed for the C1. So here C for this particular machine. So we already developed a compiler for C1. So using the C1 compiler, we want to develop the C2M, that for target machine. Okay. So here we are not using this machine language here. Hai na? This particular machine compatible language we are not using. We developed this compiler in between this using the C1, that is a subset of C. Okay, so here from this second step, okay, this is the source C1M. We need to develop this target language, that means that is equal to C, this particular machine and machine language. Okay, using this particular machine language only we need to develop the target code. Okay, so here we in between, that is equal to C1, we use the C1 because we already developed this C1 language. For C1 language we developed a compiler. So C1M. So this we will execute with already previously explained, that is equal to previously executed program, that is equal to previously executed compiler, that is equal to C1 with M and M target, and with this compiler we executed, and what we got here we got the C, the target is equal to C, and it is converted into M using this M. So see here we need to write that this compiler should be CM. This should be same. Here also C and M, and here also C1 and C1. Here also M and M. And here we can use any language here. So it should be the same. So third step. So see here, just understand this carefully. Here for developing the C, first step we need to develop the compiler using for C1. C1 is a subset of C. It is a small portion of C. So we need to develop the compiler for C1. How can we develop? Using the existing language, we develop the compiler first. So using this existing compiler, we compiled it, and later stage we got that achieved. This machine compatible compiler we developed for the C1. Okay. So this is this compiler of C1. So using this C1 compiler, we developed from the C language to M. But here we need to use the same compiler, this machine language compiler only we need to use. So how can we use it? This is the source C1M, and this is the target C. This particular machine only we need to use. So how it will be used? Using this previous compiler. So where is the previous compiler? This is the previous compiler C1, and using this particular machine, and we are going to convert into this particular machine target code. This is the compiler. Okay, so here from this compiler we got this compiler. So using this compiler C1MM, so source and target. So from C1M, so this compiler, okay, we compiled this with the C1MM, and we got this target, that is equal to CMM. So here our target compiler we achieved. So what is our target? That is equal to, we want to develop a compiler for C using this particular compatible machine code and for the particular machine. So we developed this. So we cannot develop it in a step. Okay, it will take 2-3 steps. That is, the first stage we will develop for the compiler for the C1, and using this particular compiler we will convert this C to M. Okay, and after that, using this M language only, we will get the target. That is equal to, our target is not with the C1 language, with the M language only we want to develop the compiler. So this is how we can generate a new compiler using a bootstrapping. 3 steps will be available. First step, subset language, we will develop one compiler. After that, using that subset language compiler, we will develop the new language compiler. Okay, this is the bootstrapping. So here bootstrapping can be used for the porting or cross compiler. In previous slides, I already discussed for the two new languages how can we use the bootstrapping. Here cross compiler means it will be used for the two new platforms. That means platforms means here, so I'm talking about, suppose a cross compiler is a compiler capable of creating executable code for a platform other than the one which the compiler is running. So for example, so you see here a compiler that runs on a Windows, okay, but it generates the code that runs on a Unix platform, Linux platform, or Android platform is a cross compiler. So if you are using one platform compiler in another platform also, if it is compatible in that platform also, then it is called the cross compiler. So see here, here same, that is the source language, which is existing language. It is in Windows platform, it is running, okay. That is the compiler. Here what our target is, we want to develop a compiler for Linux or Unix platform. Okay, Linux or Unix platform we want to develop. So this is the source, and Windows language only it is generating the Windows platform. Okay, so what is our target for the source language? It needs to convert the Unix using the Unix. Okay, so cross compiler means here from Windows to Unix it is converting with some other language that is equal to L1 language. Here we used some Windows compatible language, here we used Unix compatible language. In cross compiler, these will be the three different languages we will be using. So from Windows to Unix, it is converting using some different language, that is called cross compiler. Using this cross compiler, we are converting from the source language Windows compiler to source language to Unix compiler. So this is same the concept of bootstrapping only. In three steps it will develop. First of all, it will using the existing language it will generate. After that, then use the cross compiler. It will generate the other target language. This is the Windows, this is the source, and this is the target, and this is the compiler. Okay, same the bootstrapping. So bootstrapping will be used for the two existing language compiler will be used for the new language, and another important application of bootstrapping is cross compiler. For two different platforms also we can use this bootstrapping method. This is called cross compiler or porting. So hope you understand. This is the important how it will be used. This is called T diagram. Here it is a T diagram. Three T diagrams we are used here. The complete is also in the representation of the T diagram. So hope you understand this. Thank you. In the next video we will meet again with another topic.